Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about 5 mistakes that are very common among the intermediate level players. Street Fighter V is a very volatile game. The key to winning consistently is knowing how to avoid the bad situations. So let me start first with a very common one. I am sure you have seen it or you have done it yourself multiple times. Let's say that you are the Ryu, you are the aggressor, you finally got Ken into the corner. What you do? You go for the cross-up jump. Obviously the idea here is to either back throw him into the corner or to go for like some sort of frame trap and get some sort of pressure sequence going, right? This is a really bad idea because you are prioritizing damage over positional advantage. Being put into the corner is the worst possible situation in Street Fighter V. So first let's check the back throw. For the majority of the cast, the Oki on the back throw is a lot weaker than the Oki from the forward throw. So here Ryu is back to like 2/3 of the screen distance, while a forward throw leaves Ryu in a very close position, right? So he can immediately start applying his pressure, right? That's a lot better. And even if you manage to get the hit, even if you actually switch sides, still Ken got out of the corner, so you lost the corner advantage. And if Ken happened to block this or maybe did a V reversal, now you're in the corner versus Ken and he's just gonna murder you in the corner. So it's a very bad mistake. It can be alright with some characters like Ken. With Ken, this is not the most terrible idea, but I will still not really recommend it, and you will likely never see a top level player going for this a lot. The second mistake is one that you are very likely to make if you are an intermediate player, but you wanna play a passive style. You wanna wait for the opponent to overextend, do something unsafe, and then punish them. And that mistake is actually simply walking yourself into the corner. So let's say you are the Falk player, you want Birdie to do something that you can punish, and without knowing it, now you have put yourself into the corner, right? This is an issue, because just like the cross-up thing, you easily put yourself into the corner. What you wanna do is to stand your ground, shake the opponent with your pokes, and take steps forward when the opponent gives you a chance to. And I have a footage from a match where Daigo is showing you how this is supposed to be done. The third mistake is a very common one, and that is simply not paying attention to the opponent's resources and what options these resources will introduce. Let's say that you are a Sagat player and you're fighting against Chun-Li. Now that she doesn't have critical art, you can simply do your favorite thing in the entire world, and that is throwing tigers at the opponent. Right now you can get to use your fireballs and absolutely zone Chun-Li. At this point you don't have much to worry about, but now you absolutely do, because she can critical art through your fireball and punish you. Not paying attention to Chun-Li's meter, noticing that she have a full critical art and now have the option to bypass your fireballs, is a very big mistake. Unfortunately, this one is even common, I will say, among the high level players. They don't fall into it as much, sometimes they forget, but usually they are aware of what kind of meter and what kind of options the opponent have at a very specific time. The next mistake is a very common one among all levels of play. Even high level players do that all the time, and I also think I am included in this one. It's one of my biggest issues as a player, is autopiloting your anti-airs. And against most characters this is not a very big deal, but against characters with dive kick, characters like this who can change their jump arc, this is an issue. Let's say that this is jumping forward. With a character like Nash, you can crouching medium punch that, fairly consistent anti-air, everything is fine. The issues start happening when Thess does this, using the heavy kick axe kick to change their jumping trajectory. Yeah, you will start getting hit, and obviously Thess also has the instant air axe kick variant, so they can change their jump, or they have a lot of options that they can do in the air to alter their trajectory. So if you're autopiloting on the anti-airs, you are going to do badly against these sort of characters. So what are the choices here? What can we do to improve on this? Well, there are two things you can do. The first one is actually going for guaranteed anti-airs. For a character like Nash, something like an EX Sonic Psych, this is actually a very valid option because this will anti-air the regular jump, and it will also anti-air the delay jump. So this is pretty much an option that will beat everything that Thess can do. Obviously there is also an alternative, and that is air to airing. So using something like a jumping light kick is not a bad idea either, because most of the attacks like dive kicks typically don't have the best air to air hitboxes. Another option that you can do is simply treating their forward jumps as mix-ups. So you would have to pick and choose your spots, have a read on the opponent. Maybe this time they will do an early axe kick, maybe this time they will do a delayed axe kick, sometimes just take it and block. It is difficult, and that is probably the real strength of characters who can alter their jumping trajectory like Thess and Kenny. The fifth common mistake that a lot of players do is simply auto-piloting their recovery options. In Street Fighter V, there are 3 wake-up recovery options. There is what is called normal recovery or quick rise. You pretty much knock down the opponent, then they wake up in their place. There is the back recovery, where your character will do a back roll. This will delay your wake up by 5 frames, but as you can see, Zangief woke up further than the quick rise option. And obviously there is the no recovery, where you stay on the ground. And auto-piloting these can actually be really detrimental. A lot of players will auto-pilot the normal recovery or the quick rise. So let's say for example with Lucia, I do a combo into medium punch DP. Here Lucia is plus 18, right? This means that she can dash forward, she's gonna be plus 2, and she will be able to throw you, right? Now if you happen to quick rise every time, you're pretty much putting yourself in a mix-up after every medium punch DP from Lucia. However, if you back rise, well, guess what? She is out of range of throwing you, right? So if you're always auto-piloting the quick rise, you're actually putting yourself into mix-ups that you don't need to be in, right? And the same can also be applied for the back recovery option. If you're always back recovering, this can actually be very hurtful as well. Let me show you a specific setup and a sequence of event. Let's say that Zangief is in the corner, right? And then Lucia will V-reversal. Offensive V-reversals are pretty common in Street Fighter V. So if you happen to quick recover, right? If you happen to quick recover, Lucia tries to pressure you on wake up, bam, she gets armored and she gets thrown, right? Because after a dash, after a V-reversal, Lucia is gonna be -2. But if you back rise in the situation, Lucia is gonna be +3. So in the same exact location here, if you back rise, you got hit and Lucia got the combo on you. So auto-piloting either options is always detrimental. You have to assess the situation, know when to quick rise and know when to back rise. This will take some time, as you will need to know the opponent and what sort of OK situations they get out of everything. And even if you don't, at least try to mix it up, because the opponent will actually have to time their meaties differently. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon page, the Discord server page. I've also been starting to stream lately, so I will be leaving a link to the Twitch page as well. And there's also a Twitter page if you are interested in following. Thank you very much for following and watching. Stay safe.